Don't mind me, I'm just charging my iPhone. Hey guys, Quiz Cam episode 1.0.8, and this week I got sent the Eaton boost turbine. Essentially, it was debuted at CES earlier, and essentially it's an emergency charger for your iPhone that you power by essentially turning this handle here. So it's completely green. It does look like it's got an input in there as well to plug it into a USB port in your computer, but that's really cool. I'll be reviewing that at some point soon, but I just thought I'd give you the heads up. I thought that was quite cool. And the first question this week, if I can get my iPad: does anybody make an iPod Touch-like device? Well, obviously Apple do. In terms of other manufacturers, there are three that I'm aware of. Sony, Philips and Samsung all make touchscreen MP3 players, and I think all three of them run a version of Android with their own heavy customized skin on. In fact, the Samsung one is the Samsung Galaxy S Wi-Fi, which is essentially a Galaxy S that's not able to make phone calls. So it's the same as a Galaxy S, it's just an iPod with Android on it. Cam, which is better, Angry Birds or Temple Run? To you, of course. Now, it depends. It depends. At the moment, I'm addicted to Temple Run 2. I think it's a fantastic game. They've really improved the graphics. They've improved the gameplay. I have done an overview video, which you should be able to see on our channel. So I'm really addicted to that, but then I also really love Angry Birds Star Wars, but that's only because it's got Star Wars characters in it, and any of you who know me know that I like Star Wars quite a lot. Did you meet all today's iPhones people like Jake and the other ones? No, the only person I've met from today's iPhone is Stephen, who's a writer on the site, but that's only because he lives in the same city as me. I have not met anybody else, but I do speak to them quite regularly. Have you ever jailbroken your iPhone? If so, why? I jailbroke my iPhone 4S. I think it was when they released the second version of jailbreakme.com. The first reason obviously was because it was so ridiculously easy to do. You just went to the Jailbreak Me website and hit the thing to unlock it, and it unlocked. Jailbroke it, and then I put Cydia on it. And one of the things I really loved about jailbreaking was just putting the tweaks on. I used to use a little bat signal for my status bar where the 3G was. So little tweaks like that are the stuff that I liked. But then the downside was that it did slow my phone down quite a lot, and I wasn't too keen on it after a while because the benefits that I got out of it didn't warrant ruining my performance. So in the end I just reverted back to standard software, and I leave the jailbreaking to Matt, who does all our jailbreaking videos now. Do you think that Apple will ever make a Galaxy Note 2 sized iPhone? Tim Cook said recently after the earnings call yesterday, so when I say yesterday what I mean is Wednesday, on the earnings call he answered a question about the iPhone being the perfect size, and he gave the typical Apple response of, we think 4 inches is the right size for a phone, so you make it usable with one hand. So it's hard because, I mean, Apple have said stuff like that before, and I mean, Steve Jobs famously said that nobody wants to watch video on an iPod, and obviously released a video with a video playing iPod a couple of years later. He also said people didn't want an iPod that was a phone, and he made an iPhone. They also said that people didn't want third-party apps on the iPhone, and then eventually released the App Store. So every time Apple have said stuff like that, they've gone back on themselves and changed their minds. So even though Tim Cook has said that, doesn't necessarily mean that we're not going to see a larger iPhone. So the truth is, we don't know, but it's not likely to happen in the next year or so. Why do you number your quiz cam videos with 1.0.x as opposed to 5, 6, 7? That's an interesting question. It started off because I did originally start quiz cam in the summer, and I called quiz cam episode 1 was in June or July or some point, and then I got really ill for weeks. I had a bad throat infection, I couldn't make any videos, and so what happened was I had to start again, and I couldn't start again with just the regular number 1, so I thought it would be fun to number them like iOS software updates. So you've got the 1.0 point, and if I ever change the format of these videos, and if I start a new series at some point, then I'll just call it episode 2.0 point whatever. But at the moment we're still in series 1, so We'll see how it goes, and I might change the format at another point. Will you be getting a BlackBerry 10 device when it comes out? I would love to. Everyone who knows me and has been following me since I started on this site knows that I'm a bit of a BlackBerry fan as well as an iOS fan, and there's nothing sadder over the last couple of years than seeing RIM's market share plummet and not being able to release any phones that people want, and BlackBerry 10 looks like it's going to be fantastic. And so as soon as the Z10 comes out at a price point that I can justify to my accountant slash wife, I will then go out and buy one. How do you feel about Nivea launching a new soap? That's the best news ever. I hope it smells of grape. I like grape. In your opinion, Apple's greatest and worst gadgets? My favourite Apple gadget of all time is actually the iPad mini. I know it's the most recent one, but I think I use this for absolutely everything except work. If it's available to do on here, I'll do it. I'll play games, I read the web, I read books, I read my emails. I do all sorts of things on my iPad mini. In fact, there's probably no point me having an iPhone, because the only thing I use that for is making phone calls and texting people and taking pictures, so really I don't need it that much. Worst gadget of all time is undoubtedly the Pippin. It was Apple's attempt at releasing a games console and it went really badly wrong. Second in line, probably the Newton, the PDA market they tried to get into, and obviously Palm completely dominated that. So yeah, the Newton and the Pippin for me. Do you think Apple will make a Mac with a touchscreen? No. So that's been it. This has been the 8th episode of Quiz Cam. If you want to ask me any questions, you can leave them in the comment section below, or you can tweet me them using the hashtag QuizCam. I'm at @TIP_cam on Twitter, and I'll leave links to all my other personal social blogs and stuff down there. If you like reading stupid limericks, you might want to check out my Tumblr page, because I do write them sometimes. But I want to leave you with a question too. What do you think Apple's worst gadget of all time is? What is the one product that stands out to you as being awful? Please leave me your answers along with your questions in the comment section, and I will see you next week. Ciao!